Next on NonStop Local at 11 o'clock, dozens of police officers and deputies sparking concern for those living in Green Bluff. Why so many descended on the quiet community. Plus,
a possible make-or-break day for the airline industry on the busiest travel day of the year. How crowded are the airports and the roadways this holiday weekend? I'm CB Cotton with the details coming up.
Snow is coming, and not just being optimistic.
But first, no snow, not exactly good news from ski resorts and shops that depend on it. Why they say all hope is not lost for winter. NonStop Local at 11 o'clock starts right now.
This is KHQ NonStop Local at 11.
Now it's the weekend skiers and snowboarders have been waiting for. 2 ski resorts are finally open for the season. And if it seems like the resorts are opening later than normal, well, you're right. Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm John Webb. Conditions have not been favorable to make snow and keep it around. In fact, a report from Protect Our Winters finds climate change is affecting the $11 billion snow sports industry. It found the ski industry lost $1 billion in revenue between high and low snow years. And it's not just ski resorts being hit hard by the lack of snow so far this season. You can add businesses who sell the ski and snowboarding gear. At Spokane Alpine House, one manager says business is slower than normal as a result. As NonStop Local's Adam Schwager shows us, this lag, they say, is likely just temporary.
Normally, we have seen a lot more snow this time of year. According to NOAA, we've had just under 2 inches at Spokane International this year. That's the slowest start since 2016. But even without the snow, skiers and snowboarders are still gearing up.
I mean, snow is coming. I mean, it's coming as early and as soon as next week. And I mean, it's going to be here for a little bit to stay.
Shane Ruby, the general manager of Spokane Alpine House, a ski and snow shop on the South Hill, says this is what a normal Spokane winter looks like, and patience is key. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, Spokane hasn't seen this little snow at Thanksgiving since 2016. Without snow, it delays skiers and snowboarders from enjoying places like Mount Spokane, which has already discussed the potential of opening later than their planned December 2nd date.
We're just waiting for the first big dump. The cool weather is here, and so the ground temperatures are going down. We've got some moisture and snow on the ground, so we're in a good spot. We just need one or two just big dumps.
For Mount Spokane, who doesn't make their own snow, enough snow means 18 to 24 inches on the ground to ensure safety and good conditions. They opened on December 3rd last year. However, that was brought on by an abnormally snowy winter.
Snow is coming, and not just being optimistic. I mean, we get winter in Spokane, just sometimes it's a little delayed.
Back at his store, Ruby says peak sales haven't started yet, but skiers can take this time to get prepared before the winter rush takes over.
Really, when the snow starts falling, we're busy. I mean, there's lines to the door. My entire staff, we are busy helping everybody as quickly as we can.
As we wait, Mount Spokane has a Pray for Snow event scheduled for their target opening day of December 2nd, as everyone just wants to get on the slopes. In the studio tonight, I'm Adam Schwager.
Well, Lookout Pass is also set to open this week, and 49 degrees north has not yet set an opening date. A live look above downtown Spokane right now, and it is cold to say the least. But one thing you may notice is that lack of snow. Weather forecaster Ava Wainhouse joins us now. And Ava, you know I love to ski, so is there any chance of snow in the forecast?
Yeah, maybe in the 7-day forecast. Maybe. We could see a wintry mix here in Spokane across the valleys. Could see a possibility of that snow across the mountains. It's looking promising, but that's coming Friday on into next weekend. As for our current conditions, we are really cold out there. 29 degrees here in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, even cooler on the Palooza, 23 degrees in Pullman. We're seeing winds pick up in North Idaho, 10 miles per hour in Coeur d'Alene, so sensing a little bit of a wind chill there. Not too bad here in Spokane at 5 miles per hour. Mostly overcast, some clear skies down on the Palouse. That satellite radar shows what we've really been tracking. today and yesterday, and as we head into the beginning of our work week and our school week, is this persistent fog across the region. So that's something to expect as we do get out the door tomorrow morning. So keep that safety in mind when you get on the roadways. Here's your power plan tomorrow. No snow involved in the forecast. We really are actually precipitation free for the first few days of the week. This dry, cool air mass is settling in over the region. 32 degrees tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies for us. Could see some sunshine peek through that freezing fog in the morning. You can see those temperatures still at 28 degrees and 23 degrees by 9 a.m. So get the sweaters and the scarves for the kids getting out to the bus stop. When I see you back here in a few minutes, we are talking about that 7-day forecast that could include that wintry mix. John?
We'll be watching for that, Ava. Thank you. A live look at the roads tonight as people arrive home from their Thanksgiving vacation. Most of the traffic we spotted was heading westbound on Interstate 90. Fortunately, though, not many crashes or delays were reported. From the ground to the sky now, and there were just a few delays reported at Spokane International Airport today. A quick check of the flight board shows those delays were only just about a half an hour. And today marks the end of Thanksgiving holiday season travel. In fact, it was one of the most busiest in the air and on the roads. The TSA says it experienced longer than normal lines at the airports. Tack that on with some snow and cold weather also impacting travel, and the trip home was a nightmare for some. Reporter CB Cotton is in New York for us tonight.
It was a little more busy than what I thought.
No leg room, kids screaming.
A busy travel day for millions of Americans taking to the skies and heading home from their Thanksgiving gatherings with loved ones. The TSA expecting to screen nearly 3 million people at airports across the country Sunday, the most ever in a single day.
We have full staffing complement at all of our locations, and we're opening lanes based on passenger projections.
It will be a major test for the airline industry, already under pressure after last year's holiday meltdown when over 17,000 flights were canceled.
I do think they get what happened and they made changes. It even seemed like there was extra help on the plane, making sure everyone got what they needed.
I think they have came back really good, for especially this a busy time, the holidays.
The challenge to deliver smooth travels made only harder with snow in the forecast across the Rockies and Midwest. Rain also expected in the Southeast, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast, causing slick conditions for those on the nation's highways, where drivers will also find plenty of company. An estimated 49 million drivers hitting the roads this holiday.
Bumper-to-bumper traffic.
People are just still driving like they're full of food, so slow and unobservant.
A bit of good news for travelers. Drivers were able to save on gas with prices at the pump down about an average of 32 cents from last year. In New York, CB Cotton, NonStop Local. John?
Well, it's estimated some 55 million people traveled during Thanksgiving holiday. That's according to AAA. A developing story out of Green Bluff tonight where a standoff happened near Mount Spokane High School. Witnesses tell us it began around 3 o'clock this afternoon. We spotted several law enforcement vehicles and ambulances. They were on standby there. Spokane County Sheriff's Office says they're looking for a domestic violence suspect who may be armed, but they were not sure if he was inside of that home. More details will be released tomorrow morning. From our North Idaho newsroom tonight, where human remains were found in Kootenai County. The Sheriff's Office says they got the call just before 10 o'clock this morning in the Twin Lakes area. A group of hunters found them along Timber Ridge Road. Deputies say the remains have been there for many months. So far, investigators have not determined who that person was or how exactly they died. To a Crime Tracker alert tonight, the Grant County Sheriff's Office says they recovered nearly $5,000 worth of drugs in a traffic stop. Well, deputies say they found more than 500 suspected fentanyl tablets and 2 ounces of cocaine. It happened outside of Moses Lake. A 44-year-old man and a 26-year-old woman from Tacoma were both inside of that pickup. Tonight, they're charged with trying to sell those drugs. Flames shooting out of a backyard in Spokane Valley. Firefighters were called to the home on 4th and Morrow Lane just before 2 o'clock this afternoon. Crews were able to quickly get the fire out. Luckily, no one was hurt and the damage appears to be minimal. The cause of this fire under investigation. Icy roads being blamed for a car crash in Adams County that left 5 people hurt. The Washington State Patrol says the crash happened on Highway 26, 4 miles west of Othello, around 10:30 last night. All 5 who are from Moscow were rushed to the hospital. WSP says no one was wearing their seatbelts. Well, this 4-year-old American girl held hostage by Hamas for more than 50 days is now free. Abigail Eden had spent her birthday in captivity after losing both her parents in the fight between Israel and Hamas. 16 more hostages, including Israelis and foreign nationals, women and children, were handed over by Hamas overnight. The U.S. helped broker the deal that led to the release of hostages in groups starting on Friday. In return, a pause in fighting.
Critically needed aid is going in, and hostages are coming out.
Our feeling of joy is clouded by sadness because of the massacre committed by the Israeli occupation against our people in Gaza.
Tomorrow will be the 4th day of the temporary ceasefire, and more hostages are expected to be released, with mediators working to extend this day by day. Well, 3 Palestinian college students badly hurt after they were shot walking to dinner in Vermont. It happened last night in Burlington. The Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee is demanding this be investigated as a hate crime. The 3 were wearing traditional Palestinian scarves and speaking Arabic at the time of the shooting. So far, no arrests. A potentially deadly seatbelt forcing Honda to recall more than 300,000 vehicles. The recall affects 2023 and 2024 Honda HR-Vs and 2023-2024 Honda Accords. The problem? The vehicles could be missing a seatbelt connector, which could increase your risk of getting hurt in a crash. So far, no injuries have been reported. Affected owners will get a letter in the mail early next year, and it'll be fixed for free. We continue to follow the saga at North Idaho College. A recent report by the accreditation agency says the Board of Trustees has made little to no progress. You'll recall the NWCCU wanted the board to identify a sole president. Well, last December, current president Nick Swain was put on leave. They hired Greg South as interim president. Swain then sued the college and was reinstated back in March. Right now, South is still being paid. In fact, he's being paid $5,000 more than current president Swain. The NWCCU says they have, quote, little confidence that there is a will to resolve this issue. On the other hand, the students, faculty, and staff did receive positive reviews. The commission will review the report at its next meeting at the end of January. Well, the days of Lime scooters here in Spokane could soon be over. The Spokane City Council is deciding whether to negotiate with Lime or go with one of its competitors. According to our partners over at the Spokesman Review, usage was up 28% this year, meaning the scooters were used 600,000 times since March. Well, some city council members want more restrictions, like keeping the scooters off sidewalks, not allowing young people to ride them, and keeping them out of the Spokane River. NonStop Local is your election headquarters, and voters in Idaho won't be taking part in a presidential primary for 2024. Instead, a caucus will be held. It's because state lawmakers eliminated the primary election when it passed a bill earlier this year. The Idaho Republican Party will hold its presidential nominating caucuses March 2nd. Democrats will hold theirs on May 23rd at 5 p.m. local time. And one thing to note, caucuses are not conducted by the state. Instead, it's the respective political party. The Apple Cup has come and gone, and it's the Washington Huskies who come out on top. Austin Getz is over in the Northern Quest Sports studio with a reaction from the Washington State Cougars. Hey, Austin.
Hey, John. For the Cougs, the season has ended, and all that's left is the sting of the loss to their biggest rival. Wazoo players shared their feelings on the game and the end of the season after the final whistle yesterday.
The Washington State Cougars finished the season 5-7 after starting it off 4-0. For the seniors who will never play another game in the Crimson and Gray, it's the bond between their teammates that they will carry with them to whatever's next.
We'll look back, and this won't be one of the most successful seasons that we've had at Washington State. But I mean, just as a player, as someone in that locker room, as someone just on this team, man, I've had such a great connection with the people in that locker room, man. And those are my brothers for life. You know, I love those guys. I always support those guys. And it was it sounds dumb, but it was the most fun I've ever had while being having so many losses.
That bond formed in a place that many are concerned will be hard to recruit to, Pullman, Washington. Edgeburn Jackson spent 6 years there and says it's a commitment for life.
Your word is everything, and when you commit somewhere, it's a lifelong commitment. I know me and RJ made a lifelong commitment to this place, and we can't thank this place enough for what it's given us and all the opportunities that have been present themselves here. And I think when these high schoolers, these transfers, when they make that commitment, it's got to be solid.
The next few weeks and months will be telling for what the future of Washington State football looks like, but the bond between the former players will remain. Reporting in Husky Stadium, AJ Howell, SWX.
AJ, thank you. Coming up, we'll hear the Huskies side of the story. John?
For that, Austin, thank you. The holiday shopping season just getting started. Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and now tomorrow, it's Cyber Monday. Target is slashing prices up to 60% off. Walmart advertising up to 80% off. And Amazon is offering deals every 5 minutes. Experts say this year is expected to shatter records with sales totaling $12 billion. And speaking of online shopping, Adobe Analytics say people spent more than $9.8 billion online for Black Friday. Smartwatches, televisions, and Bluetooth headphones were hot ticket items. Other favorites were Barbie dolls, mini brand toys, cordless and robot vacuums, cookware, and of course, coffee makers. One Lincoln County teen is proving how important it is to help organizations in need this holiday season. 16-year-old Bella Matazzi lives in Harrington. She's selling stickers that she designed to help nonprofits. Her family came up with the idea during the pandemic. She's raised money so far for the Lincoln County Lost and Found Pet Network, St. Jude, and Union Gospel Mission.
I think it feels much better than like keeping it all for myself, receiving. To me it's like gifts. When it feels better to give them than to receive them.
If you're interested in buying a sticker or checking out her art week, we have a link on our website. That's nonstoplocal.com. Santa bringing in holiday cheer to the first ever tree lighting in Spokane's Corbin Park neighborhood. Took place earlier tonight. Festivities included free hot cocoa, time with your neighbors, and pictures with Santa Claus, of course. Neighbors were also encouraged to bring warm clothing and canned foods to help others in need this holiday season. If you don't want to ski in Bonner County, then you could soon go ice skating instead. The county has added a second phase to the Field of Dreams project, which would include an ice rink. It's part of a deal between the city of Pend Oreille and North Idaho Ice Corps. It isn't clear when construction could begin. The city of Pend Oreille acquired the 50-acre Field of Dreams property, formerly known as McGee Sports Complex, on Highway 95 in 2011. Well, dig out those holiday sweaters and the puffer coat. Ava says it's cold outside. She's got that complete forecast coming up next. And before we head to break, our special telethon with Vanessa Behan is coming up on Giving Tuesday, which is this Tuesday, but you don't have to wait until then to give. You can scan this QR code on your screen. It'll take you directly to the donation portal. Donations are down this year, and they are reliant on community support to continue their good work. A bottle of scotch from a batch made 97 years ago selling for a record price.
A bottle of Macallan 1926 dummy scotch whiskey sold for, get this, $2.1 million in London. The single bottle of Macallan comes from a batch originally made in 1926.
And it was aged for 60 years before being bottled. Based on the sale, one shot of it would cost you $131,000. Better be a good shot.
Yeah. There's so many things we could say about that one shot of alcohol. Yeah. It's expensive alcohol. I don't know. If you guys want to try it, let us know. I would be amazed if you had $131,000 for that. Forecast size tomorrow, 32 degrees in Spokane. That 7-day forecast shows it's going to be cold all week. Bundle up.
But maybe we'll go skiing towards the end of the week.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward. Thanks for joining us this week and have a good night.